Welcome to Master the Game. I am Juice, and today we are talking about 5 of my favorite magic items in Aizendore's Vault of Tragic Treasures. So let's get started. Before I get into the list, I want to quickly say, Aizendore's Vault of Tragic Treasures is part of a Kickstarter that launches today. Now, in this Kickstarter, you have an opportunity to get 2 books and a magazine. The magazine's going to come for all the backers of the Kickstarter. One of the books is 300 pages. It's the Aizendore Vault of Tragic Treasures. It's also going to come with a book called The Order of Elemental Chaos, which is a 200 plus page adventure book. Now, I haven't seen that book yet, but I can tell you if it is half as good as the Mag of Holding or even just the Scroll of Testing that I've been looking at for Aizendore's Vault of Tragic Treasures, then it is going to be amazing. The size of it is very comparable to any normal Wizards of the Coast 5e adventure module. Those are usually about 250 pages. So again, I think it'll be comparable in size and probably in length as well. In Aizendore's Vault of Tragic Treasures, there's going to be 300 plus pages of magical items. And I've, again, had an opportunity to look at this playtest document for it, and the magical items are really well put together. They're not just stat blocks. The book, when it comes out for the Kickstarter, is going to have a chapter of lore about the vault, about the people involved in the vault, all sorts of stuff like that. You're going to have adventures inside of that book as well that I'm assuming are catered around these magical items. So again, it's going to be a really, really cool book to have. And if you are a 5e fan in general, I feel like this is going to be up there with some of the better third-party content out there already. I personally can't wait to use these items in my games. I'm going to have some stuff in my Blackrock game starting this Saturday that I'm going to put into the dungeon. I don't know if the players will find it, but I'm going to definitely pepper some of these things into that campaign. If you want to check out these in action, that'll be a great opportunity. But enough of that little self-plug. Let's get into what's so great about some of this. So I did a review already on the Mag of Holding. You can check that out right here. I will link to it. And again, really, really high quality, fully interactive magazine. The format is fantastic. Everything is laid out really well. And I fully expect that in Aizendore's Vault of Tragic Treasures. There are so many good items in this book that I cannot begin to do it justice in this video. So I'm going to do my best. I'm sure over the coming weeks, you're going to see me in live streams talking about some of this stuff because it's that good. There were a couple that stood out, such as the Barrel of Bones. Now, the Barrel of Bones is a magic item that you can use the bones to summon a certain amount of creatures and a certain type, whether it's skeletons or other things. It's really, really cool. So I can't wait to use that one, of course. Now, another one is the Sword of Shielding. I am a big fan of defensive builds in 5e with a Halfling Barbarian. That was one of my favorite characters I ever played, and he had a high armor class. I maxed him on Dex and Con. And the Sword of Shielding is going to be the type of magic item I would have loved for this character. It's going to give you 3 charges, 1d6 plus 2 to AC. Really effective. There's other things it does too, but that right there, to me, taking place as your reaction, making your armor class really high is just really, really, really awesome. Some of the other stuff is the hat section, the sword section, the stones, the baubles. Those sections have some really cool stuff too. So I can't wait to see the final versions of those. So with that, let's get into the countdown. So coming in at number 5 is the Land Shark Helm. So this is going to allow you to get able to jump high, jump further. You're going to be able to basically pounce on your enemies should they fail their save. You get to do some bludgeoning damage, some slashing damage, and they're knocked prone. So if they succeed, they're not knocked prone. And again, this is an item that I love. I love the fact that not only are you knocking them prone, you're doing a lot of damage, and you can attack them from pretty far away, jumping on them and things like that. So obviously that uses your movement, but the visual that I can picture with the storytelling, the narrative, to me, that is where this is going to shine. I love things like this. It's very epic, very memorable if it's used at the right times. Again, this is something I will love to use in my games. Coming in at number 4 is the Coin of Booming. So I wasn't sure what to think of this at first, but really reading that section and understanding it, it basically serves as like an alarm. If you have it on your person and you're attuned to it, and somebody tries to steal your coin purse, it's going to start screaming because it's not close to you and it knows someone took it. This is cool. This is an item I can't wait to use for my NPCs when I have characters in my games who are playing rogues and they like to steal, coin purses from people. Another cool thing would be if, say, you set up a bad guy in a lair, who's got a treasure hoard. Maybe it's a dragon or something. And there's a chest like in the hallway that they purposely set there, leave it open with all the coins in it, and maybe some other things. And so the players are like, oh, well, I don't want to go fight the dragon if I can just take this out. Well, once they start moving the chest and it alarms the dragon, now you've got problems. So stuff like that, I could totally see myself doing. Not using this so much on the player side, but more from the GM side. So again, a really cool magic item coming in at number 4, the Coin of Booming. Number 3 is the Bell of Requiem. Now, this one I like, but there are some things I would tweak. So it is restricted to specific classes. I believe it's a wizard, a sorcerer, a monk, and a warlock. And I would probably remove that restriction personally. Now, just at least for my home games. And I don't know what the final version in the book is going to be, but again, for me, I think I would let anyone use this. Now, what it does is it allows you to resurrect people who have died. And if they've died within 24 hours, between 24 and 48, or 48 and 72, it changes the modifiers to your rolls. You're going to roll on a D100. You're going to add a spellcasting modifier to that, and whatever you get is going to be the result. Now, there's some great things on this list. Some of the really poor rolls, basically, you're going to send this character to the 9 levels of hell. And you're possibly going to bring a demon out in their place that you then have to fight. Yeah. Or you might resurrect them, but you might resurrect them as a zombie, and now you have to fight your friend again to the death, and that's no fun. Some of the better rolls, the player might gain a level when they're resurrected, So there are so many different options on this table, and I just think this is going to be really cool to use. Now, you have more of a chance of bringing them back with negatives and possibly bringing them back as something you have to fight, or just completely destroying them, sending them to hell and things like that. So there are more negatives than positives, which I think balances it out really nicely. And again, I think this is something I would happily use in my games and leave it up to players and how they would use it and things like that. I mean, if you're the only character left and you're trying to resurrect your party one by one, which you can only do once per day, then you're possibly going to resurrect the first one and they may turn into a demon and attack you. And now it's you versus a demon. You probably just got out of a combat. You're already hurt really bad. That could possibly end very bad for you. And then you get a TPK thanks to this magic item. But maybe it lends itself to bringing the whole party back and you don't have a TPK. Maybe you have brought everybody back with some really good rolls. So again, I think this is a cool item. It's going to be a major story point in your games. You're going to have a lot of stories to tell for years to come, should you ever use this in your games. Number 2. Now, this was really tough. My top 2 are neck and neck. I chose the Hat of Chaos Manifold. This is a hat that when you start getting beat up, it looks tattered. It's like a wizard's hat. When you start getting beat up, you're going to get less than 20 hit points, and you're going to polymorph into something on a D100 chart. Now, I'm just going to say there are some awesome stuff on this chart. Some of it better than others. If you roll well, you might get a Kraken. You might get an Ancient Dragon. But yes, you heard that right. I said Kraken. You might get a Demon. You might get Baphomet. You might get all sorts of things that you can polymorph into. Some of them for longer than others. The better your roll is, the shorter time you're going to be that thing. The worse your roll, the longer you're going to be that thing. But if you get dropped to 0 hit points as that thing, you're going to resort back to yourself. All the damage carries over to your new form too, just like when you're doing Druid Wild Shape. Now, the thing that's really, really cool about this, again, is these are creatures that are more powerful than anything you would change into normally in the game. And so that's why, like, the idea of changing into Baphomet or anything like that, to me, is really, really cool. And it is chaotic. Like, you never know what you're going to change into. If you change into a Kraken and you're in a, 10 foot by 10 foot room, you're going to bust out of this room, destroying this place, or possibly hurt yourself. So I could see some really fun things with that. And that's why it's number 2. It was almost number 1, but. And number 1 is my favorite. This one, again, by the name, Marco Vad's Tiny Little Town, didn't excite me. I was like, what is that? Whatever. Like, what kind of magic item could that be? It's like a snow globe that is a town on another plane that you can teleport to. That's just cool. So I could see myself using this. It's almost like a get out of jail free card at times. Maybe your players use it to transport to this place when they're in danger, when they need a rest, when whatever. So again, I think this could be cool. Be careful with it, obviously, but that's my top 5 list. Again, all of these things I could see lending to some awesome stories in your games, things that you'll be talking about for years. And this is a small sample of what this product is going to carry. So with that, I highly encourage you, go support this Kickstarter. There's far more, interesting items in there. The final book is going to have more and probably better ones too. Who knows? You might like some of the other ones that are in this already that I didn't even talk about. So it depends on what you're into. But again, a lot of these are really interesting. It's all going to lend to some great storytelling around your table. The link is in the description. It's also in the pinned comment. Go and back this Kickstarter. You do not want to wait. I'm telling you, this is going to be awesome. You're going to possibly be able to create some different covers, special editions. Again, you're going to get the Mag of Holding just for being a backer. The adventure that's going to come with it is jam-packed. Like, you're going to love this, I promise you. The creators of it are all very enthusiastic about this. They're doing everything they can to put out the best product for you. They've been working on this for a long time. And I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed if you like Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Let me know in the comments below if you're going to back this. If you've already backed it, would love to hear your thoughts about it, what you're most looking forward to. Which of these magic items do you want to use in your games? Are you planning on using? Again, all of that and more, just let me know in the comments below. I'm really excited. I'm sure you are too. If this is your first time here, smash that subscribe button, hammer that like button, and we will see you guys next time. This was Master the Game. I am Juice. Game on.